How's it going, everyone? So in this video we're going to be doing a oil change from start to finish for the brand new 2024 Ford Mustang. This is the EcoBoost model, just the basic EcoBoost, and I've actually already did a oil change video for the last generation or previous last generations of Ford Mustangs, but this one is going to be different because I did some initial assessment of the underbellies of the 2024 Mustang, and you just need a lot more extra time and a few extra tools to do the oil change on the 2024. So for anything before that, 2023 and before, you don't have to do those additional steps, and the reason is I'm going to show you guys right now. Okay, so I already have my Mustang popped up on one of the ramps. Ideally you would want 4 ramps for the Mustang because it's pretty low on the ground, but 2 ramps I can get down to the space behind from the front, so that's okay. But the thing I want to show you guys compared to the last generations is if you now look up, the underbelly is completely blocked by this kind of like felt plastic material. So this is the additional step you have to do. Okay, you have to remove all 13 screws on here, which are 7mm screws. Okay, so there's one screw here. Not sure if I can show you guys. They all look like this, and there are a few clips that you have to remove using a flathead Phillips flathead screwdriver. So once you have this big panel removed, and I'm not even talking about this plastic panel, I'm talking about the panel behind, which is right here, this panel, the felt one. You have to remove that to access the oil drain bolt as well as the oil filter, which is all somewhere behind there. So once I remove this, I should be able to show you guys what exactly you have to do on the new Mustang to get a proper oil change. I have everything laid out in front of you. Those are pretty much everything you need to get this job done. Okay, essential is a 15mm socket wrench. Okay, right here. So I already have the socket wrench installed on the wrench, and you can use whatever kind that you like. Personally, I have this one, which is adjustable in terms of the angle and length, which is very easy for servicing on the motorcycle and also on the cars. I also need a big wrench. This one is like a plumbing wrench. I just literally use this to loosen the filter. Usually I put it on the biggest setting and I just grab the filter with a big jaw and unscrew it. When you put the new filter on, I usually just use my hand to hand tighten, but for the initial tightening, you can try to use this, but I wouldn't recommend. Okay, you need, again, as I said, for the 2024, you need a flathead to pop some of the plastic locking tabs, and you also need this is a 7mm socket to unscrew all the 13 screws that's been locking that bottom felt underbelly protector. Okay, so you need a 7mm metric. You need a 15mm metric for the oil drain bolt. Optionally, if you have a drill bit with the small socket adapter, 1/4-inch socket adapter, you can make this job a lot faster by using the drill bit to unscrew that 13 screws. If you don't have it, you know, a manual one works just fine, but it's gonna take a lot longer compared to a power drill. Okay, other things you need are pretty much maintenance items. You need a 5W30 oil. I always get the Kirkland. I've used it in my previous Mustangs, absolutely no issue. And you need the filter. The Mustang's filter for every generation, pretty much since 2015, is the FL500S. They're very cheap, like usually less than $8. If you buy them single, if you buy them bulk, it's around $5 to $6 each pop, so very affordable. So oil filter. Alternatively, if you have some oil filter left over from the last generation of Mustangs, this is a frame, ultra synthetic, and this one, the model number is XG3614, Tough Guard, I think it's called, whatever it's called. This one also works. Okay, so the only difference between the aftermarket, I'm going to show you guys right now, and the original Ford is the length of the filter. So this one, the OEM is slightly longer, So in theory, it holds a little bit extra volume compared to this one, you guys can see, but the thread size should all be the same, okay? The thread size should all be the same. So in theory, it is compatible, and but since I have a lot of those Fords, I'm just gonna use this. But if you have the old filter for your old Mustang laying around, it works, okay? So just use them all and then get the FL 500S eventually for your new Mustang. You also need a drain pan right here, and it uses 6 quarts of oil. So I think this one is going to be pretty full. Ideally, you want a bigger drain pan, which I also have, which is going to be right here. Okay, so this one is going to hold a lot more. So maybe I'll just use this. I'll use my bigger drain pan here, and just drain everything. If you don't have one, get a cheap one. Anything that's more than 5 quarts or more than 6 quarts should work. Okay, and that's pretty much all the stuff you need. A funnel will be helpful for refilling, and also getting the oil from that into here. I just use one funnel. That's pretty much it. So I'm gonna get started at unscrewing the bottom part of the underbelly. I'm gonna try to put my camera at an angle. There's white collar, little helper. So I'm gonna put the camera somewhere here, and I'm gonna start unscrewing the underbelly of the felt cover. Hopefully it's a time lapse, so you guys are not wasting your time, but you can see exactly how long it's gonna take. Alright guys, so I just got the stupid cover removed, which exposes the bottom of the engine block. And as you can see, the drain bolt is conveniently located right here. Once the cover is removed, you'll be able to find everything much easier. Drain bolt is right here, towards the back of the engine block, and your oil filter is right next to it on the right next to it. You literally just cannot miss it. It's like a big red black. The black one is like the factory one, but if you get the new factory one, FL 500S, it's gonna be white. So they're all similar, but you can see now the oil drain and oil filter install removal process is gonna be the same as a previous gen of Ford Mustang. You literally, loosen the drain bolt, let the oil drain, warm it up, let the oil drain, and then once the oil finished about draining, you loosen the filter. And the filter is already like kind of loosened. I can just literally turn, oil would come out. So yeah, that's a process. So next, I'm just gonna get my drain pan ready, and we're gonna start draining the oil after I warm up the car just a little bit. Alright, so pop the hood, let the engine warm up, and I already prepared everything ready to get the oil change. Show you guys. Okay. And there's a stupid underbelly that I hate so much. Drain pan's ready right here. I'm gonna slide it under and just open the drain bolt and let it drain. Then remove the filter. On the top, the oil dipstick now is located over there. Compared to before, on the previous gen, it's going to be somewhere there. It's different. And now the oil is somewhere in the middle. So I will have to get some sort of stool to stand up and reach the side, which is kind of a little harder nowadays, like right here. Okay. But again, it's a brand new engine with brand new transmission, so I guess the engine performance, I have no complaint. It's just that the new design is a lot less user friendly in terms of servicing, this car by yourself. They just added new features that kind of is cumbersome to make this maintenance spending more time. Unnecessary time, I think. The old Mustang works perfectly fine, right? All right, enough rant. I'm gonna close the engine and I'm gonna drain the oil, and we'll fill the oil and change the filter. Then the process is done. So what's interesting is the oil cap design is also very different. Okay, this one is like a twist open, so it's like a quarter turn and it opens. Very, very different from the other traditional previous gen Mustang or other cars. Okay, now it's just a small twist and it's closed. Again, the oil level check is here, but we're not gonna be using this for now. So yeah, when you do the oil drain, always just loosen this a little bit, so let some air in so it will drain a lot more smoothly. Okay. All right, so I already got the bolt loosened enough to hand loosen it. So the oil is almost gonna come out. It's already dripping, kind of dark. So it's about time to get a new oil change. And I'm just gonna turn and until the bolt is fully loose. I have my drain pan ready again. Just let the oil flow. Kind of line it up. Almost there. All right, here we go. Let's go. Perfect. All right, so pretty dark. Okay. And just make sure the oil has a nice throw curve and your drain pan is able to cover all its path. And once this finishes draining, we're gonna get the oil filter removed and drained as well. Okay. Again, 6 quart, so it's a fairly good amount of oil. Make sure you have a big enough drain pan that's not full. Dispose those at your local AutoZone or Advanced Auto Parts or any other auto supply stores, so they can recycle the oil properly. All right, so it already started to rain, so I had to do things quickly. I already removed the oil filter on the top, and now what I have to do is just, you know, let it drain a little bit longer, and then I will plug the plug and also put the new filter in, and then we'll be filling in the new oil, and then call this task complete. Finally put the bottom cover back on there. So what I like to do before I go there and put the filter on there is pre-fill the oil filter and lube the oil filter ring on the new filter. And if we look inside, it's almost full. I can go there and just align it and screw it in there and don't have to worry about burping the oil filter. Sometimes it gives you an error on the engine if the oil filter had a vacuum and the oil wouldn't go in. But once you pre-fill it, it shouldn't have that issue. What I also like to do, especially with big bottles that I'm not gonna use fully, is I always have a small bottle ready. The small bottle represents 1 quart, okay? So I literally just fill the small bottle with 1 quart and leave one of the full bottle of the 5 quarts for the Mustang to do the oil change. So that way I know, and I don't have to look over here. There's 4 quarts left in the big bottle, which means I poured 1 quart in here. So I just need to pour this fully into the engine and also to pour this fully into the engine. Now granted, I already poured about 300 milliliters into the filter, so the rest I need to pour is right here, which makes pouring the oil into the engine much quicker. And also with the help of a funnel, you align the top of the fuel valve and you just start pouring, which again makes things faster to finish your oil change experience. All right, so I removed the original filter on the 2024 Mustang, and it confirmed my suspicion that this is the Ford factory filter, and this is the old, previous gen Mustang filter. Their height is the same. What I got, the FL500S that was recommended by Ford, was actually a filter with a little extra volume. So in that case, I guess it provides a little bit more longevity in terms of filtration compared to the factory one that they used for the original Mustang. I don't know why they give you a different spec compared to the filter that they used when the Mustang is originally out of the factory, which is interesting, okay? So the frame, your old Mustang filter is still gonna work perfectly, and it's gonna be 100% compatible. But for the recommended filter, the FL500S, is just a little bit longer, and just keep that in mind. Both filters works fine. The FL500S from Motorcraft is gonna give you a little bit extra volume when it comes to filtration. Okay, so that's something different. And of course, the last step, I'm just gonna fill the oil on the top and call it a day and complete this task. So we are already at the we're done with the bottom end. We drained the oil, we put the cover back on there, and we screwed in all the screws for the bottom cover. The last thing that I'm gonna do, optional again, is those plastic tabs that I pulled out and cut. I need to put in new plastic tabs. Now I always have a few various sizes of those automotive plastic tabs available, because for my motorcycle fairings and other applications, my other cars, I always lose those caps, and so I have a whole bunch of different sizes of and different lengths of those tabs available. So for the Mustang, you need one that's kind of thicker in width for the front part of those two plastic tabs, and for the middle part, you need two of those tabs that are slightly thinner. Okay, so they are actually not the same size, and I'm puzzled by why they're not using standard size for those two tabs and they have to use two different ones, which is again bad design on Ford's end. But just keep in mind the four plastic tab are, the two is gonna be different width. All right, just keep that in mind. If you go on Amazon, you can buy a whole bunch of assorted sizes, and one of those sizes is actually going to fit under the belly perfectly fine. So that's the last thing I want to tell you guys. I'm gonna go and install those plastic tabs, and the next time I can reuse them by just popping them up, and then I can simply remove them and re-put them back on there, and then just lock them up by doing this, by push it all the way. Super easy. And again, I don't know why Ford used non-reusable ones, which is like a ripoff. If you go to the dealership, it's going to charge you more for the cost of the non-reusable plastic tab, and they're going to charge you more for the removal and installation of the bottom cover. And I think that's a marketing scheme to make more money on the dealership, but that's just my theory. But again, if you do it yourself, get reusable plastic tabs. So we are at the end of the oil change, and obviously the very last step is fill the oil with fresh oil. Okay. The interesting thing is the funnel doesn't even fit in fully. Oh, okay, so it does this way, which is weird. Nobody can reach this. It's like such a weird spot. I'm gonna pour the remaining of the 1 quart in there. Remember, this one is what I dumped out from the other large bottle, and also this is 5W30 for all Mustangs. It's 5W30. And as you can see, no mess with a funnel, which is really easy and quick. So 1 quart, or almost 1 quart in there. And I'm gonna dump the other 5 quarts of oil in there as well. Again, if you're short, get a stool, because this is not gonna be easy. It's very hard to reach that area. All right, I got a stool. I think the easiest way for me to reach the car, which the funnel is here, okay, and I don't know, kind of tough. I don't want to make a huge mess, then it's gonna be a long cleanup. I guess that works. Last step, I'm gonna roll the car off the ramp, close the cap, warm up the engine. At the very end, top it off if the oil level is, you know, not up to there, which I think it's gonna be, the oil level is gonna be fine since we measured it really nicely. If not, add more oil. and if you're accidentally putting too much oil, hopefully you didn't, you have to find some sort of syringe to suck the extra oil out. Otherwise, oil is going to spit out and make a huge mess everywhere. Okay, so that's it. Really, the actual oil change part is very easy. What I found most frustrating is removing the bottom cover and also having to find a replacement plastic tab for the Ford tab that I have damaged when I'm removing that, right? So that's really annoying. But that's it. Yeah. If you guys have any questions, comments about doing oil change on the new Ford Mustang 2024 Ecoboost, feel free to ask me or let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think? If you had the previous gen and now you have this, I am super frustrated when I had to do this oil change. It like took me probably like 5 times longer than what I have to do with the old Mustang. The old Mustang was super easy and straightforward. This one, a lot of work. I couldn't also reach the oil fill valve. It's at such a weird place. It's like in between right there. Super weird, right? So I'm inside my wife's car now. Oil change is complete. I need to unload it off the ramp, and I also need to go recycle the used oil. So let's figure out how to reset the oil change reminder, which is right here. It says required. We're gonna try to find the maintenance tab. We're gonna go to settings, vehicle, oil life. Okay, so we're gonna press and hold the oil life to reset. Now it's complete, so it wouldn't remind me again that the oil level is oil needs to be changed. And just to recap, okay, you for sure want to change the oil when Ford tells you you need to change the oil. The oil that came out from this car, only 8,000 miles, pretty nasty. Okay, so yeah, do whatever the car tells you and you should be okay. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. All right, so that's it. Hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please do hit the like button or subscribe to my channel. As I do maintenance for the Mustang, I should have more videos coming out for you guys. If you also like scooters or motorcycles, also subscribe. I enjoy working on my scooter and my motorcycles as well. So thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.